So they brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, "How long has he been like this?" "From childhood," he answered. "It has often thrown him into fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us." "If you can," said Jesus. "Everything is possible for one who believes." Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, "I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief." When Jesus saw that a crowd was running to the scene, he rebuked the impure spirit. "You deaf and mute spirit," he said, "I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." The spirit shrieked, convulsed him violently, and came out. The boy looked so much like a corpse that many said, "He's dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him to his feet, and he stood up. After Jesus had gone indoors, his disciples asked him privately, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" He replied, "This kind can come out only by prayer."
Mark chapter 9, verses 20 to 29. I'm standing right outside the Bognor Regis Sailing Club. It was formed in the late 1940s and they built this clubhouse in the early 50s. They became popular with the Merlin rocket sailing dinghies, and then in the 1980s the Commodore introduced a catamaran, which was very popular, and windsurfing. You know, it's an amazing day for it today. There's quite a swell out in the sea. Although to try and sail without wind would be a little bit like trying to be a Christian without prayer. What we see in our passage today is a dad who is desperate for Jesus' help, and yet he says, "If you can help, I believe, help me overcome my unbelief." You know, that's a great prayer for many of us to pray. I'm currently standing on a bench. Now, what is currently holding me up? In fact, I'm actually going to sit on the bench, even though I'm going to get very wet, because it's a very good bench. There we are. But what is holding me up right now? Is it my faith, or is it the bench? It's the object of my faith, which is the bench. As it has been said, it's not a great faith we need, but faith in a great God. It's what we put our faith in that matters, which is God. He versus the devil, there's no contest. He will always win. If it's disciples versus the devil, well, then yeah, my money would be on the devil. But with God, he will always win. So it was also said, this time I think by Martin Luther. The other quote was James Hudson Taylor. I think it was Martin Luther said that it's no more possible to be a Christian without prayer than it is to live without breathing. We have access to such power. Why would we want to try and live the Christian life without constantly coming back to God in prayer? It would be a bit like taking out the sailing dinghies, catamarans, windsurfers when there was no wind. we come down off the mountain into the valley and get amongst hurting people to minister God's love and his word of gospel truth to them. And we don't do it in our own strength. We can never do it in our own power. We have none. But we do have access to God's amazing power. This seat is holding me up just fine, but I don't have to have a great faith in this seat. I just need a good seat to sit on. Father, thank you so much that your amazing power is available to us today. Thank you that you can still do amazing things and surprise us with your love. I don't want to trust in my strength, but in yours. Amen.